Hello, everybody. God bless you today. This is going to be a good one. And what you got to do is like and share real quick. Tag every woman that you know that's fathers, that special people ask me to do certain things that I'm doing. I know you're probably driving and some of you probably various places, work, but like and share this, share and like. We pray that you are doing good. We pray you had a good day. All right. Pray that you had a good day. These conversations are necessary. They're needed. Um, they're because we have to believe in role play. We have to have boundaries, and we have to set up boundaries. So I know I'm gonna catch it today. All right, George, I'm gonna catch it today because many of y'all gonna come for me, but it's all right. I'm be waiting for you. See, my sister's already coming here. See, Carmen already coming. I knew Carmen was coming effectively immediately. All right, so here we go. Let's get into this. So like and share, tag some names. Tag 7 names of 7 women that you know. Tag 7 names of women that you know and 7 men. Come on, get these numbers up real quick. Get these numbers up real quick. Where's Angel and Angela, all my opinionated sisters? Cassandra and all of y'all. Where the brother? Tag some brothers in this. Tag some brother. Let me tag some brothers in this. Let these brothers get on here. And so, all right, let me get some of these brothers on here. Ha 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 ha. Oh, Angel, I'm looking. They coming in. They ready for me. Angel is ready for me. Angel, ready. Angel, I got to take her phone. She be shooting folks down. Some numbers is looking okay. We need some more. Come on. Let me get some of the women in here. Come on, women. Come on. I'm taking Father's Day blessings and gifts tonight. Before gotta touch it up fight. Somebody tag Shanae Gooch, tell her to pick me up from the airport. And while I'm in there, yes, there you go. Tag some of these names. Come on, tag names. Carmen, there you go. Tag some of your highly opinionated sisters. Come on, Cassandra, tag some names. Tag, share, tag, share. Tag, you're it. Okay? All right. So let me just say this to you, that whatever I say, it's a matter of philosophy and opinion to educate, to embellish your life to the place that you possibly can to be. I'm also, if you can't comment, I'm also on YouTube. Let me say this. Satan, lessons from the devil. We can learn a lot from the devil. We can learn a lot from the devil. I think if we learn from the devil, his tactics and his ways, some of his tactics and his ways, we would be more equipped to deal with one another and him. Okay? Oh my God, I got these powerhouse women, powerhouse educated women on here today. So, lessons from the devil that we can learn from the devil. And one thing I learned from the devil, that he never quits. He doesn't get weary. He doesn't get tired, because the devil understands his assignment, and he understands his assignment is only for a while until he's turned over to the lake of fire. So he doesn't rest like saints rest. We get tired, we get weary, and that's what Paul writes to us: be not weary in well doing. So if you have not gotten the book, you need to get the book, The Influence of a Father. Gift it to some type of man, gift it to someone to be able to look at the influence of a father. Now, if you cannot comment, please go on my Bishop Amir Mays likes page or the Abundant Faith likes page or go on YouTube at Amir May. So, Bishop, what do you mean? How did you have the testicle fortitude to say such egregious, misogynistic um, words such as gender roles or such as a woman cannot be a mechanic? Well, I want to talk to you. Let's want to talk about Satan. Satan comes to kill, steal, and destroy, right? But God says, I come that you might have life. Okay? I came here to live, all right? Somebody type that I'm going to live. So Satan is very strategic. Even in the children's literature, you see the outbreak of what the LGBTQ community has done. One thing about the LGBTQ community, they have the epignosis of knowledge to understand that if we can get in the children's head or we can get children, we can grow our community, we can enhance our community, we can embellish our community. And let me tell you something, people. I don't care if you stay at Taj Mahal. I don't care if you stayed at the Dubai resort. Your greatest memories, most of us, not everyone, some of our greatest memories was with our childhood. Our childhood experience, playing in the dirt, didn't want for anything. Back in the day, we had church clothes, school clothes, and you all better buckle your seats because we're getting ready to turn this corner. And there, we drunk out of the water hose. If we dropped our candy, we ate dirt. Said God made dirt, dirt don't hurt. So we were just gangster with it. Our immune system was built to an ecstasy that could not be measured, right? We were just children. If you grew up in Michigan, New York, you got hit in the face with snowballs. You had to walk to school in below blizzard weather. We were just built different, right? This generation is different. Right, made mud pies. We did all kind of stuff. We just was nasty. But this generation is different. And the Bible says they're going to get wiser. They have the knowledge, the epignosis, but they don't have the wisdom of God, but they will get weaker. So if they're becoming weaker, guess who's becoming weaker? The men and the women. Isaiah, the book of Isaiah said there will be 7 men to 1, 7 women to 1 man. 7 women to 1 man. But now there's 27, nearly, women to 1 man. 73%, this is why you got to get the book, www.amirmay.org. Get the book today. We'll get it out to you. If you want a personal autograph, we'll get that to you. But go on Amazon and go all the Barnes & Noble, just get the book, The Influence of a Father, gift it to somebody. 73% of the children today are born without fathers. They are born without fathers. So mothers are the sole provider in 73% of the African American community's household. Mothers are the sole provider. Mothers are the backbone. Mothers are mostly everything. All right? Thank God for the Black church and mothers that have kind of kept us together as a community because we are the last defense line. So why did you say such things like that to upset the people? Because people need to know their place, and women need to know their place, and men need to know their place. When I say that, that sounds very harsh and misogynistic and male chauvinistic and all that kind of, all the mystics, right? But it's the truth. You was like, probably, and if you are a hothead and read my title without understanding the content, you probably already logged off and said, this is not my world, my wow. But I never come out here without giving you good content. You're going to wish you stayed tuned to this. So here it is. It's not a woman's job. I got to put the women in their place. I got to check them. To be a mechanic. You're more of an engineer than a mechanic. What does a woman look like getting her hands greasy under a hood or changing oil with her hands all rough and nasty and all that kind of stuff? Well, that's not what I'm talking about. A woman, once she dates a man, should not have to fix him because he doesn't have a father, raised in an impoverished home, or came out of some type of domestic violence home or drug addictions or alcohol abuse, et cetera, et cetera. There's no excuse. Why did you say that, Bishop? You had a two-parent home, you had a grandparent. Yes, but the head of every man is God. And if the head of every man is God, you don't need a woman to fix you. You need God to fix you. This is why it's important to understand fatherhood. This is the why it's unheard. So if whether or not your father was in your house or not, whether your father was not in your house or not, whether or not your daddy did crack, whether or not you came from the crack epidemic, whether you went to prison, maybe it doesn't matter. A woman is never the head of a man. It doesn't matter what excuse you make. It doesn't matter if I don't call them that, but they call them crack baby, or it don't matter if you ADHD, DDD. If you look at the nature of God, God created his magnus opus, which is man, a near, a priest, a husband. Women are not over you. Okay? You got to understand this, man. God is over you. Okay? So when you're in right standing with God, it doesn't matter about your background because your parents was only a vehicle to get you here. Watch this, and we've been propagating it in our culturally, and we've been culturally wrong. We've been so for that a man a man needs to really have us, a man needs another man in his life. Iron sharpen iron. Yes, that's true. But when you look at my book and you see that 73%, out of that 73%, I've got to tell the woman the truth. You have a place. Woman, you cannot replace the man. So if you have a young man, or you have a son, or if you have a brother that you're embellishing and helping and trying to get on their feet, you've got to teach them about God. Because if you're a woman, you have to say to yourself, baby, I'm your mother. I cannot teach you the things that God can. I can teach you Proverbs 31, the letter to King Lemuel to Bathsheba, right? But I cannot teach you what only God can teach you. Do you hear me real good? Because I was not designed to be your head. I was designed to embellish you. So women are not mechanics. And the reason you have relationships that fail and fail again, over and over again, is because you're trying to be a mechanic. Can I tell you something, baby? You cannot fix him. Have you ever said to yourself, he'll be a good man once he get, it's just like a car. Oh, this will be a good car. This will be a good car once the carburetor gets fixed, once the alternator gets fixed. And this is what society has tried to do. Society is trying to shift their positioning and male and female. God does not see physical protoplasm. He does not see flesh. God sees spirit. He said he made us in his likeness. That means man has dominion. Man has power. Man has authority. According to Psalms 82, verse 5, we are little g's. We are little gods. And the only difference between us and the real God, Yahweh, is that we don't have control over life and death. But yet we have life and death authority from the power of God through faith. Life and death is in the power of our tongue. And so many of you women are trying to fix him. And you don't read the red flags. Well, I'm just going to help him do it. That ain't your job, woman. Stop trying to do God's job. You can't fix him. So what I do as a woman, as a single mother, what I do, I teach my children the ways of God. This is, I'm telling you right now, I'm teaching my children. It doesn't matter if a man is raised up in a Christian home. It doesn't matter if he's raised in a single parent home. It doesn't matter if he's raised in a crack infested home, or it doesn't matter if he's raised like the Huxtables. Every man is going to have his own demons, his own challenges, his own things that the vicissitudes of life bring to him. And he has to be able to get in touch with God, and he has to be open enough for God to be in touch with him so God can pour into him and teach him his ways. That's why David said, Lord, teach me your ways. Now, women can be engineers to embellish. An engineer is one that helped design. I got my hand on you. I'm helping you. I'm embellishing you. You bring me $7, I turn it to 21. A man that's out of touch, not with society, not with, you can teach him intimacy. But watch this. If he's really in tune with God, you don't have to teach him intimacy, because he would understand the best intimacy that a woman can ever experience is not you rubbing on her clitoris, is not you making love to her, is communicating with her, being patient with her, being silent when she's trying to speak, and allow her to voice herself and allow her to be heard. Communication is the greatest intimacy that a woman can ever experience, because men, you have to learn how to make love to your woman, your wife, before she even hits the bedroom. How do you do that? You listen to her. Effective community, you listen to her. You don't nag her. All right. You understand her. You're caution with her. You treat her, even though she's strong, you treat her as though she's fragile as a flower. Listen to her. You may not listen. And when I say listen to her, you may not make all the decisions or agree with what she's saying, but listen to her. Communication is the greatest intimacy, because you trying to make love and she's trying to tell you she's tired of this garbage stinking up the house and you need to take out the garbage. And you paid your boss and you paid for people to clean, but she wants you to take part. Okay, so we got to understand this. What we got to understand is that we we people have texted me. We got to understand women. And this, I'm asking you a question. You're saying, well, why do I continue to get the same type of man? It's because most of your men are not in touch with God. And then the ones that are in touch with God, just because they go to church does not mean they're built for God. Doesn't mean God is with them. Doesn't mean that God is talking to them. Doesn't mean that God is downloaded to them. It does not mean because they go to church and preach mean they're a good husband. Does not mean that they're an awesome husband. I know some men that don't even preach that are great husbands, great men, work every day, take the job and get the children and deal with the crazy baby mamas. And all. That's because he has the nature of God. You don't have a real man, watch this, a real man, you will never have to beg to pay child support. A real man that's in touch with God, all right? A real man that has a relationship with God will move on in his life, even though you're his child's mother, marry someone else, but yet befriend you and always look out for you and the child as much as he can, primarily the child, but yet if you are in need and he's able to help and assist, he would assist you without sexual motives. Without motives. Yes, men love sex, but the truth of the matter is, if I cut you off, doesn't mean you cut me off. If I cut the sex off because I'm tired, and women have the right to not to want to be the side chick, they have the right not to be one of the third chicks, even though you treat them well. Women have the right. Women have rights to decide about their body, whatever they want to decide. Do you hear what I'm saying? The quality of a good man is not one with a three-piece suit on that preach and sing never would have made it to you. The quality of a good man is one that takes care of his responsibilities. I don't know why y'all think church men are so good. They're not. And the reason you like church men because they're like an angel of light. They're not good men. Most of them don't know how to change oil. Most of them don't. They don't know how. They don't even know how to work. They skip the qualities of manhood and got a preacher and got a mic and start preaching. Most of them couldn't even defend their home if an intruder came in. They're probably like, honey, go see who out there. Most of them know that. What kind of man do you want? You want to check? Why do you? Oh, God. And then you all thought you preached it in the Pentecost. You Pentecostals have messed up a whole lot of folks. You said, don't be unequally. I don't want to be unequally yoked. Unequally yoked has nothing to do with whether a man is still in the club and zatting or you in the church. Unequally yoked is, in my opinion, it's a spiritual walk. How do you see Yahweh? How do you see God? You hear what I'm saying? Because listen, I was, and some of the biggest gangsters, hear me real good, are church kids. The mafia is church kids. They were altar boys early in Catholicism. All right. And I want to tell you something. Some of the greatest gangsters is church mothers' grandsons, church mothers' uncles, nieces, and nephews. So what I'm trying to tell you is this, that just because he's not in the church as he's supposed every Sunday does not mean he still cannot be good for you. Because I'm going to tell you something. Church men play more games than men who have a God conscience that may not be where they're supposed to be, but they reverence God and they reverence the anointing that's on you. All right. So if an unsaved man come and try to holler at you and he's smoking a cigar or he got some Hennessy at happy hour, don't you tell him, that's nasty. No, you speak to that man. He's a man. Maybe having a glass of Hennessy after a long day of work. All right? And then these church got to come and speak in a tongue to you all and all that kind of stuff. Listen, no. And then if he's real, let me tell you something. If a man is really real, he'll play games, but he'll tell you the truth. He'll say, listen, I got a few friends, and you my girl. And a real man, all right, to all you all may have some side chicks on here, let me talk to you all. If you're a side chick, that's not necessarily your whore. If you're a side chick, you are a person that's voided. You're full of voids. And that fantasy fills that void. We call you thoughts and hoes. Side chicks are not thoughts because sometimes these men love the side piece or the side chick more than they love the wife. And sometimes the wife is good for business, the wife is good for the image, the wife is good for everything. So a lot of guys stay. But don't let the culture put labels on you and tell you what you are. All right. All right. So because what America calls you a thought in America, in Dubai they call you the second wife. Because I don't care how church folks look at it, those that you are in covenant with and have sexual relationship with, those persons are your wife. In other words, you're not supposed to sleep with anybody unless it's your husband or your wife. There is no marriage ceremonies. You don't see no marriage ceremony in the Bible where you take vows to be thy only wife in the house. No. And we say a pledge. We don't even supposed to make vows and pledges, only to God. So the truth of the matter is, don't let culture, all right, don't let the culture make you feel bad and who your heart betrayed you to love. Because morally, you say this is wrong, but your heart says this is right. So Mr. Wrong and Mr. Right, that's your heart. Your character said this is wrong. I don't like it. I don't want to be it. But your heart said, I'm surely in love with this guy. Okay? Because there's a need. It goes back to fatherhood. It goes back. You are in need of a real man. And let me tell you something. The man, what I found out as I matriculated, study, and look at life and study anthropology, I figured this out, that women need their fathers just as much as men. Matter of fact, more. Because, hear me good, a man, if you throw him out in the wolves, he's going to learn to survive. A woman, in my opinion, needs her father more than a man. If I throw Amir out here right now, Amir gonna survive. He gonna do what he gotta do. If he's on the projects, he might hustle and sell dope, but he gonna make it. He may rob. He may be the stick-up man. He may shoot dice. He may do other things. But what is women going to do without her being demeanored? How? Not saying she can't. We know she can hustle. We know she can do everything another man can do. But psychologically, the warfare breaks her down. Psychologically, she becomes full of rejection. She feels less than because three men have slept with her, and she only slept with these men not because they said she's a whore, but she probably slept with them because she wanted her bills to be paid. So men can be groomed by God, but women needs a man for covering. That's the God here. That's the God here. Because even though most of you are boss chicks, most of you are hustle. You don't need a man to survive. You don't need a man to pay your rent. You don't need a man to pay your house note. But you need a man for certain things that no one else can give you but a man. All lesbian relationships is fake. No woman can bump on you and give you what another man can give you. Every lesbian relationship is fictitious. It's not real. It's covering a void. It's covering a void. And let me tell you, it's an illusion. All right? That's why you cut your hair like a man. It's an illusion. All right? Because if you just want two women to have sex, why you just don't have sex? Well, why the one got to put on the clothing and take on the demeanor of a man? It's because everything that Satan does, he's a copycat. All right? And a lesbian husband, woman, is nothing but a copycat. But it grows right back. It grows right back. So this is what I'm trying to tell you. All right, women, your nipples get hard when you're in a lesbian relationship. Men don't have nipples. We don't supposed to. And God has not designed us for that. Opposites attract. You need a negative and a positive. You need hot and cold. You need a man and woman. Now, if you choose to be in a same-sex relationship, that's your choice. But keep God out of it. It has nothing to do with God. God ain't in it, and God didn't create it that way. That's like you telling me, yeah, Pastor, you painted your house red. I said, no, I didn't. My house is white. No, Pastor, it's red. You just can't change something on my original intent. God's original intent, he made them male and female. And why you talking? Why the church make me sick? Well, some of y'all make me sick because it's not, I don't care who you bump and grind and sleep with. I do not care. I just told a daughter that earlier. I do not care. Wrong is wrong, right is right. You know the difference between wrong and right. I'm not getting into that. What I'm getting into is here. Here's the problem. Here's the problem. And Satan and the LGBT community can teach church folks something that we're missing. They know where the treasure is. The treasure is not, praise the Lord, everybody, in church and denominations and it's not. It's not all about that. The secret to Satan right now, most of what you're experiencing, most of your pain, most of your tremors and traumas and psychological damage, it happened between the ages of 0 to 21 years old. And whatever happened in your adulthood, it just reminds you of the trauma and the pain that you experienced as a child. So whatever you experience as a child, it shapes you. Whatever you experience as a child, it shapes you to become the adult you are today. So if you were molested as a child, it's going to affect. Satan is not going to try to kill the child. Satan is strategic. He doesn't kill the child, he psychologically damages the child. And he plants that seed there that no one else knows about. No one, see, it ain't just about, even with sleeping with multiple people, just multiple, it's the spirit of porneia, it's the spirit of perversion. All right? Well, no, we teach our children to be, we teach our children, boys, to get as many women as you please. No, we're opening them up to perversion. So whatever you experience as a child, if it's anger, if it's pain, if it's rejection, if it's misery, if it's suicidal thoughts, it starts as a child. And once you realize it starts as a child, it carries. Oh, you are not just you're not an adult. You're not a thought because you got to do what you got to do, and as an adult, something in your childhood caused that seed to be manifested. Okay, and when that seed was manifested, you begin to become who you are. Trauma, trauma. So therefore, watch this. Women has to teach their men, those children, how to get in touch with God and say, baby, I'm not your father. I need you to learn how to pray. Teach your children how to pray. Don't teach your children church before you teach them how to pray. Teach them to study the word. Teach them to hear the voice of God. Teach your child, because you're going to say, baby, I can't defend you. You're going to have to stand tall. Them gangs going to be wanting you. The women going to want you. The LGBT going to want you. So the Holy Spirit, you got to lead, protect my baby, protect my child, right? See, that's a different methodology from when you tell your daughters. When her father is there, say, baby, I'm going to carry you to school and I'm going to protect you. I'm going to lead you. I'm going to guide you every step of the way. See, men are designed for men. As a man, I'm designed to take my sons so far. Watch this. Even in marriage, the psychological presentation of marriage is different now. As a father, watch this. Where do I exchange and give my daughter away to? Not a pimp player hustler. I exchange my daughter at the altar. Did y'all hear what I just said? Men only can take their sons so far. I take my daughter to the altar. When your son gets married, he stands alone and he stands with other men behind him. But when your daughter gets married, she stands with her father. And when she stands with her father, the father don't leave her manless. In other words, she's not designed to be a mechanic to fix who she's marrying, because whoever the father gives her over to has to already be ready and be the engineer that God called her to be, because this is my baby and I'm giving it to you. Watch this. The exchange is at the altar. There's some things that we got to exchange at the altar so God can do what he has to do. You don't give your daughter over to anybody, anything. It has to be right. Whoever the father gives the child over to has to be ready to assume his responsibility. And what does God tell man that he does not tell women? He doesn't tell women to fall in love. Why y'all falling in love? You should learn to submit before you fall in love. Hey, prophetess Dr. Michelle Robinson, love you, sister. You should learn. I know y'all don't like this. Don't fall in love before you learn to submit to him. Submit to him first and then fall in love later. Submit and respect him. Because you can fall in love with him and not respect him, and then it's misery. You be like, man, I done fell in love with this sorry joker. This joker sorry as I don't know what. I'm telling you. And then you betray yourself because the heart is deceitful. Who can find it? Submit before you fall in love. Because it's different, because I'm telling you, you can say, oh man, this sex was good. I done fell in love with this joker. This joker, I get off work, he's still on the couch. No, submit before you, so you can, because you're not going to, women are not going to submit to anything they don't respect. Women are not going to submit to anything they don't respect. Okay? So, you got to understand here, and as I'm closing, y'all share this, tag somebody. You got to tag. See, I don't have to love you. I don't care. Watch this. A man really doesn't care if you're in love with him. He'd rather that you submit and respect him and honor him versus in love with him. Because you could be in love with him and psycho as I don't know what. And watch this. And he can love you and still cheat. He can love you and still cheat. Now, Bishop, I don't believe that. Yes, he can. That's why you don't need necessary to him just to love you. You need him to honor you and respect you. See, why do you think? Why do you think? Watch this. Come closer. Come closer. Come closer. Why do you think men hate to see other men do to their mothers and their sisters what they do to other women? It's because they love and they respect their mama and sister. So they don't want another man to do to their mom and sister what they do to another woman. Why? Because the love and respect they have for the woman. So don't say if he loved me, he wants you. No. Make him respect and honor you. How do you make him respect and honor you? Not sex. You've got to be so charismatically inclined that a man is saying, you know what? Man, Keisha was a good woman. Keisha was a good woman. And that's how you got. And listen, when he say, man, I messed up, if he drinking or talking to him, man, that was a good woman. In other words, it ain't about sex. It's just, you know why? Because the honor and respect she had for me, I can't let that go. She honored me and respected me, man, and she built me up and she enhanced me, she embellished me. And because she's not a mechanic, she's an engineer. She didn't fix me, she didn't try to fix me. Because when you try to fix him, oh my God, when you try to fix him, it agitates him. The only one can really fix him is God. That's why when you mothers talk to your grown sons, he almost cuss you out because he's agitated. He loves you, but he can't take another woman. A real man cannot take another woman nagging on him, talking to him, giving him instructions. He's going to leave. You're manufacturing a cheater. God is the only one who can fix him. Don't try to fix him. Let him go back into the place of his chambers and hear from God so God can do it. All right? You're nagging. You're nagging. Well, you know the garbage is out in these bills. Everything you're saying, he already knows. Everything you're saying, he already knows. You don't deserve to be fixing him. You don't deserve. You're not a mechanic. Women are not designed to be mechanics. You got to get yourself together. Dude, I love you, but don't raise your voice at me like that no more, like you're going to kill me. Don't put your hands on me, because when you go to bed, I'm going to throw some salts off and I'm going to cut your balls off. Don't play with me. Don't play with me. You got to come on. You got to rise. Your daddy got to rise up in you. That man in you got to rise up in you. I'm not a mechanic. Don't put your hands on me. I'm gonna call 911 and I'm pressing charges. I'm not here to fix you. Well, I got anger issues. You know, my mom would be. No, brother. You need to get in touch with God. And so let me help you because I'm gonna call the police and you're getting ready to do this little time. And while you do this little time, you can get back and you get fixed. And you got to do it. And for those that don't like 12, stand 10 toes down and do what you got to do. See, I could tell you something, but it's all psychologically. You trying to fight him and go get him. But I dare you to put some perfume on and call your girl over that he don't trust to pick you up. Don't drive. Let the girl that he don't trust pick you up, and you leave with her and go stay at our house and act like you're going to somewhere out all night, post pictures and act like there's a party. You would drive him crazy because most men have the nature of God. They will physically, whether you hit them or slap them and get to a war versus you messing with them psychologically. Most men are jealous. What is a good sign that my husband, my boo, love me? He's jealous. He's jealous. You're not going to, if you're going to the Kingdom Hall, he's going to visit once. If you're going to church, at least if you're in church and you've been dating a man, He wants to know, who is this dude you call your pastor? Who is Bishop May? I want to check this dude out. Because a man doesn't want his woman bragging on him more than he brags. I mean, bragging on another man more than he brags on him. That's why I always tell the women in our church, don't go home talking about, oh, Bishop May did this, Bishop May was that, Bishop May is boss. No, you brag on your husband, don't brag on the bishop. Tell the women, the men, don't be bragging on Lady Kenya, you brag on your wife. I had a young man, he was pushing this other woman and preaching, and his wife got up and he sit there and looked crazy. I said, you better get your big old fat son up and push your wife. So as I close, I hope this really bless you all. All right. You all don't have to settle. You don't have to settle. So what you got to do? Well, Bishop, I'm in a difficult situation. What is your situation? I fell in love with the wrong guy. Okay, let's fix this. It's going to be hard. All right? It's going to be hard. Don't let these people tell you, oh, get over prayer, change things. Nope. Nope. No. Well, the quickest way to get over somebody is date somebody else. No. You're damaged. It's hard. Now, you can become friends and date and take your time and slow down, but I wouldn't advise that because your heart will betray you again. And you'll be right back in the same situation. Because when you date and you're hurt and broken, you are going to draw the same type of man that broke you the first time. And he's just like your daddy. Chances are the first man that ever hurt you was your father. So the persons, if you look at the character and get back down into the persons that hurt you next have a lot of qualities just like your father. And you draw that type of man. And then as you do that type of man, if you hop into another relationship, you're going to do the same thing. Hello? On live, I'll call you back. So this is what happens. You're not crazy. You're not trying. A lot of people, because you're crying and you hurt and broken because your heart betrayed you. And see, this is why. Let me tell y'all something. Let me tell you something. When your heart has betrayed you now at this point, it's no need of being vengeful. It's no need of being vengeful, blasting him, screenshotting, cussing him out, all this kind of stuff. No. There's no need of that. There's no need of that. There's no need of it. Because real men don't like drama. Real men don't like drama. I'm telling you, take it as a loss. Learn from it. Get healed. Woman, can I tell you all something? Do you know how fine you are and beautiful you are? Broken? Lady May said that book, y'all got to get her book, Beautiful Broken. You fine and got it going on. He wanted you while you was broken. Just think how you're going to look when you're healed. So don't date. Just worry about you. Just get you together. Chances are, let me just say something. You got two children, two different daddies, and they all do the same thing. That's not on the men. I'm telling y'all some strong truth. That's on you. What, Bishop? I'm holding you accountable. You got three different baby daddies, and all three of them are just alike. That's not on them. That's on what's in you. Get healed and have another child and see what kind of man he is. Did y'all hear what I said? Matter of fact, some of y'all don't need no more babies, but you understand my point. So there's no perfect man. There's no perfect relationship. There's no perfect woman. There's no perfect man. There's not. You got to know what you can tolerate and what you can't tolerate. Okay? I believe that you should become friends. If I'm telling you, I hear that. That's right, Angel. If you got 3 baby daddies and all of them alike, it's you. I'm just tired of no good men, these church men. Why you keep dating them? If the last 2 church men hurt you, why are you still dating the same people, the church men? If the last preachers hurt you, why are you still dating preachers? If the last person, the tenors of the group of the choir, them same type of men hurt you, why you ain't switching up? Can I tell y'all something? I know you want to say this. Don't unless it's God. Hear me good. Come closer. I gotta close. Don't do it unless it's God. Don't date a preacher or a musician. Don't do it. Only way you got to do it is you know it's God. Bishop, come on. Tell me. I need everybody to sold $12 into this live. Just if you only just sold $12, that means establishment, $12. I want you to sow this, and I'm getting ready. I'm gonna stay on 7 more minutes, and I gotta go. But I need it ain't about me charging out. So I believe in you sowing it too. If you believe in was blessing your life, I believe you should sow. Okay, let me show you something. I'm about to drop this bomb on you about these musicians and preachers. Okay, I'm gonna drop a bomb on you about these. This $12. So this right there, $12. That's all. $12. Share this. So everybody just sold $12. Everybody, listen to the establishment. Let me say this: if you can, don't date a pastor. Don't date a preacher. Bishop, what are you saying? Or don't date a musician unless you know it's God. There are certain rules that a pastor, a musician, or a preacher must adhere to if you're the woman of God. If I'm the woman of God that the pastor is dating, it needs to be known. He doesn't have to get up in the pulpit and say, that's my wife, or that's my next wife, or that's my boo, because it's little billings. And you know, most of the women, I'm just keeping it 100. The church is comprised of 75% of one church. And if it's a singing church, you know, you can't afford to say, I'm married sister so-and-so. I'm telling you what preachers think. You can't afford to marry sister so-and-so, because if you marry sister so-and-so, a lot of folks going to leave. What I'm telling you is this. I didn't say don't marry a preacher. I didn't say don't marry a musician. But you've got to know that preachers, I'm about to say this. Oh my God, I shouldn't say this, but I love people so much, and I want people to heal. I want people to heal. I want some of you all to heal. If you want your healing today, let me tell you something why. Let me just, I don't know if I really should say this. Golly. There's a three people need to sow 103. Some 3 people, because you're about to get your healing. 3 people been in a drought. You're about to get your healing 103. I'm not playing. I don't care if you do it. I'm not saying I got to get dressed. I'm playing. Pastor Sandra, I need you all to take me to the airport. Listen, but let me say this. This is why it's dangerous to date a pastor. And I hear it all the time, and God gives me insight. And my ministry is reconciling men. I want people to be healed. And I see it all the time. The difference and the danger about dating a pastor is that the pastor is Superman on Sundays, but he allow you to see his kryptonite and his weakness, and he allow you to see how human he really is. So watch this. Bishop, you're taking me somewhere. 3 people need to do this. They will show you how vulnerable and how weak. And most people that fall in love with the pastor think he's a dog, he's this, he's that. It's not true. Now, hear me good. Hear this, hear this. He's just as vulnerable as you. Watch this. When you fall in love with a pastor, there's certain things that he's not able to do and say as if he's a free man walking in society. Therefore, you may love him, and watch this, he actually may love you. But it's always going to be tales from the dark side, and it's always going to be a secret because everybody can handle who the pastor falls in love with. I'm telling you, listen to me. And I know people don't like this, and they just trust me. That's why I deal with preachers all over the world. And it's the secret that's going to haunt you. You're going to be good for it for a while, but you're going to want to hold your hand in public walking out of the church like everybody else. You're going to want the pastor, your little child who sees the pastor at the park and y'all in private, you wanted him to be able to say, run up to you and say, honey, what we having dinner for today? Or sweetie, I'll meet you at the restaurant. You want to say that openly. And every woman deserves that. Every woman deserves that, to be loved in public. This is why it's a danger, because people would tell you he a no good man, he this and that. You're like, no, that ain't him. He ain't no good. There's just certain things he can't do. Now, if I got this, let's just do the math. I'm trying to help y'all. If I got y'all, hope y'all sowing that $12. I hope y'all sell that $12 seed. $12 a seed. That's what it's established. If I fall in love with somebody, all right, and we have a thriving church. We're living off the church. I'm just talking to you all. I'm talking plain common sense. Thank God I don't live off the church. He don't live off the church. We're living off the church. I'm single. All right. The church is booming. Is Pastor Keith on here? The church is booming. Once I make the announcement that you're my girl, or this is going to be my future wife, 30 to 40% of the income of that church is going to leave. Why do you think Noel Jones waited this long to build before he told everybody who he's going to marry, who we already knew who he was going with anyway? I know y'all ain't going to agree with this philosophy. So the man is going to have to sacrifice everything. You're going to have to sacrifice the Gucci bags that he's buying you, the trips that he's taking you on, and everything else, and say, we're going to be good. All right? Yeah, Shawanda is crazy, ain't it? But that's the truth. That's the truth. So let me say this also. Then you have to be careful for you young daughters. I command to your spirit, you are not a thought because you start loving the wrong man. I speak that as a bishop, as a father. You just got in a situation, your heart deceived you because you got caught up into this whole fantasy. And this is why it's not good. And this is why it happens all the time, that most pastors have other women on the side. Because he too is out of touch with God. And so what he needs from God, he tries to get from the side chick. There's a fulfillment that he needs from God. And instead of getting it from God, because God is ahead, he tries to get it from the side chick. He's voided. He's lonely. He's deprived. Y'all, this the and so he has this individual that not necessarily, and most of the time, if you talk to women who've been entangled with pastors, it's not always that their thought is just that it's a diversion. We're gonna talk Western culture because if it's Eastern culture, pastors have 4 wives if we want to, but you will talk Western culture. So what I'm trying to bring, what pastor, what are you saying here? I'm saying, pastors, when we have voids, we got to go back to God. And I'm saying to you women, be careful when you date a pastor and a musician. Be careful because your spirit world is all open. When he gets done preaching and you call him out to the phone, he's talking to you, the whole spirit, hell and heaven is still open. The vertex of hell is open and heaven is still open. So you have to be careful. Now you in those worlds. And that world is going to be so deep. When you, watch this, when you make love to a real prophetic, anointed individual, you got the heavens and the earth and hell clashing together, and you all are, the angels are outside and warfare, and you wonder, why is this man like God on earth to me? I didn't have sex before, but why do I'm crazy. Everything this man do, it bothers me. So it started off as fun. It started off as fun. You were just ministering. Now, when he posts things about his wife, you angry. Now, when he posts things about his daughter or any woman, you become angry, you become bitter, and you become jealous. Now you want to go to Larry Reid. For what? So now, if God does not get in there and break the yoke and the soul tie, it's going to be hard. But God can do it. I know I said some stuff today that I hope helped you. And I want to say today that you are not a thought. He is not necessarily a whore. And if you've been with 2 or 3 preachers the same way, it's not the preachers, no good preachers. It's something in you that's drawing them. You're not a thought because you had a 2 or 3 men in church. Why church men ain't no good. That's the men you experience it because that's where you are. It's just like saying drug dealers ain't not no good. If you was on the block, that's what you'll be dating. So you date what's in your private and social affairs. So what I'm saying is to you that your heart will deceive you. 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 And it ain't the person. I'm trying to go back to self accountability. As an athlete, all type of women try to get with me, and I know women lied about having babies by men. Then I did have a child here, and I used to blame the women. But as I got close to God, and I resented that girl, I resented her baby. I couldn't stand the whole situation. It wasn't that she was deceitful. It was that I wasn't in my right place with God. And when you're not in your right place with God, you got to stop calling women hoes. That B tricked me. Oh, she ain't no good. She got pregnant. No. If you were in the place that you were supposed to be in God, it's not that she's a thought. It's not that she's a side chick. It's not nothing else. You should have let God do what he has to do versus the woman. So now you're in a fantasy. Fantasy island. Maybe I'm not. I mean, stop blame. As adults, stop blaming people. Stop blaming people. Just say, you know what? It was something in me that attracted me to them. It's spiritual. It's spiritual. Stop blaming people. I'm not overweight because the devil's attacking me. I'm eating too much. Well, my medicine has got me. It's life. So stop beating yourself up. Maybe perhaps you fell in love with the pastor. Maybe you watch this. Maybe you fell in love with your pastor without even him knowing it or her knowing it. Secretly. And they don't even know what's going on. It don't matter. Get before God. You ain't even got, watch this. And you ain't got to run and go to another church. Ask God to deliver you. Now I'm talking about if you didn't have to. Ask God to deliver you. Because most of the time, if you are with an individual you ain't got no business with, most of the time you were their friend. I'm saying too much. I'm saying too much. If you are with a pastor or a somebody else, a husband or a wife or whatever, most of the time when it's dangerous, the reason it's really dangerous now is because most of the time you were their friend. That's why I say sex ruins lives. You were their friend. Y'all stop kumbaya. Oh, just looking in the sky, waiting on Jesus to move. No, it's in you. How did you fall in love with your pastor? Because he trusted me. He trusted me with secrets he didn't even tell his own mama. And I trusted him. And it was getting deeper and deeper. And we wasn't even doing that at first. It was just conversation. And he helped me here, and then I helped her. And then then the heart got into it. And then next thing I know, I'm pedaled in the deep, and I look back, and the shore is too far to just turn it back around. So I got to tread or I drown. How did I get here? How did I get here? I know better than this as a preacher. What did I get in here? I saw in her what I wanted to see in my wife. No, women. Don't tell your pastor your innermost secrets. Why? Because your pastor could be just as vulnerable as you. He's only Superman when he's preaching and teaching. But most pastors have more issues than the people that they're talking to. Go and get an outside source. Go and get a white lady and wear her glasses like this, yeah. Because even though that may not be their desire to get with you, the spirit world can connect you before the natural world. Whatever happens and manifests in the natural, it manifests in the spirit. Oh, I got him now. Because the very thing that she needs, the pastor desires. They both broken. They both hurt. They both need it. So I'm getting ready to orchestrate this. Satan, oh my God. That's why I don't counsel women no more. If I do, it's with my wife or Pastor Cassandra or Pastor Shia, or I send it to Mother Arrington. If it's really, really deep, I don't do it. Because everything on me is working, and it's working well. And I'm still a young man. But I don't do it because I may be in a place where me and Kenya just a drought. I mean, we're just going through, and I'm sick of this. In a certain way, I'm just used to, and I don't need to be caught at the wrong moment, and you don't either. And because I'm highly anointed, prophetic, and everything, so you don't need to compromise and put yourself in that situation. Hello? So you guard yourself. You put systems in place to protect you from you. Cassandra is a licensed counselor, double degree. Charnel is a counselor. And these, the pastor Kenny got their degree. This is really, it has nothing to do. It has nothing to do. Watch this. Watch this, and here we go, and I got to log off. I've been down here too long, but it's blessing people. I'm getting text messages from everywhere. Some bishop just said, like, Doc, you helping me. Let me tell you all something. Pastors can't tell you how vulnerable they are. They're not cricket. They're not low down and dirty. They are vulnerable. And they need a real person to talk to. Do not share your secrets in the same vineyard in which you work. Stop sharing your secrets in the vineyard in which you work. Go to an outside source. Don't even go to somebody in your same denomination. You almost can go to you almost can go to an atheist that have the training to listen and counsel versus going, can I submit to you that my wife had a counselor? She still has a counselor. I used to say, I said I ain't need no counselor. I just go to God. It's just me and God. But I need a little counselor too. But hear me good. Whatever's in your life right now, let's say, I'm asking God right now. I'm going to ready to pray. I'm going. Ask God to save the child in you. If that child get healed today, that adult gonna manifest to purpose. Seek godly counsel. Get an old woman with no teeth. Get an older woman with no teeth that's not a gossiper. You got to get somebody, baby. You got to get an outlet. And a young pastor, it's not always a good time to get outlet. He don't need to know your secrets. You don't need to know you used to be a freak and you got caught up doing this because this. No, you don't need to know that. And he may not even try to have it. See, the devil orchestrates hookups. The devil orchestrates entanglement. Okay? So God bless you. I hope y'all was obedient. There was 3 people that did that 103, but then there's most of you need to do that $12 seed. That's just that $12 seed. I'm telling you, it's going to revolution. Some of you getting ready to be healed today. And once you get, man, listen. And life is funny. You never know what might happen in life. You never, if it's for you, it's for you. That's why I'm gonna put it like that. If it's for you, it's for you. It may be wrong now, but right in the future. Y'all didn't catch that. Stop it. Stop it, Pastor. It may be wrong now, but right in the future. I'm gonna say this again. I didn't see it. I didn't see it at all. This is why you got to be careful. It may be wrong now, but right in the future. I gotta go on that one. I gotta go because y'all playing with me, and y'all don't believe. Y'all didn't catch that revelation that they said. All right. So God bless you all. May heaven shine upon you as I pray. For the next couple of days, I'll be my family chilling with them. But after that, we try to get back to Sunday morning. God bless you all. May heaven shine on you. Peace.